Today, we're uncovering 25 fascinating facts about the show that made geek culture cool. Sit tight, because
Bazinga, punk, now we're even.
Can you imagine anyone other than Jim Parsons playing Sheldon Cooper? Believe it or not, Johnny Galecki, the actor behind Leonard, was first considered for Sheldon, but Johnny felt more connected to Leonard's character, opening the door for Jim Parsons to bring his genius and quirky behaviors to life.
I'm not insane. My mother had me tested.
The original pilot had a completely different female lead named Katie, played by Amanda Walsh. However, test audiences didn't warm up to her character. Thankfully, the creators came back with Penny, played by Kaley Cuoco, and the rest is sitcom history.
New neighbor?
Evidently.
Significant improvement over the old neighbor.
The Big Bang Theory brought geek culture into the mainstream. Comic books, board games, and even Bazinga became cool, shifting how people viewed geek fandom entirely.
Read into that what you will. What can I help you with?
One of the most legendary guest stars, Stephen Hawking himself. He stole the show every time he appeared, especially in the iconic scene where he corrected a math error in Sheldon's paper.
What does Sheldon Cooper and a black hole have in common? They both suck.
Did you know the science behind the show was actually accurate? The team brought in David Saltzberg, a physicist and astronomer, to ensure Sheldon's equations and terminology were legit. Talk about dedication to realism. That theme song you probably know by heart, it was written and performed by the Canadian band Barenaked Ladies. It's basically a crash course in the history of the universe to music. Sheldon and Amy's quirky web show, Fun with Flags, was inspired by real-life academic enthusiasm. And here's a fun twist. Mayim Bialik, who played Amy, has a PhD in neuroscience. How cool is that?
You'd think that the Czech Republic would try to hold on to what it had, given it's not as young as it used to be.
The Big Bang Theory was a global sensation. At its peak, it was one of the most watched shows in the world. And get this, the finale in 2019 was watched by nearly 18 million people. Now that's what you call iconic entertainment.
Thank you.
Here's a real-life plot twist for you. Kaley Cuoco and Johnny Galecki dated in real life during the early seasons of the show. They kept it a secret until after they broke up. Luckily, they stayed great friends both on and off set.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful eyes.
They're gonna cut this.
And last but not least, the apartment numbers aren't random. Sheldon and Leonard live in 4A and Penny lives in 4B. These numbers are a nod to the fourth dimension in science. A little inside joke for all you physicists out there.
All right then.
Can you imagine the Big Bang Theory without Jim Parsons as Sheldon? I know, we can't either. But here's a fun fact. Jim wasn't planning to audition for the role. It was only after some persuasion from his agent that he decided to give it a shot. And lucky for us, he nailed it on the first try.
She wants to talk to you. Who's crazy now?
Speaking of the characters, did you know that Raj's inability to talk to women without alcohol wasn't just a random plot point? It was actually inspired by one of the show's co-creators who struggled with social anxiety. Talk about turning personal experiences into comedy gold.
Raj is going through some stuff right now, and he'd like to take up drinking.
And here's one that even hardcore fans might have missed. While Penny's maiden name was mentioned only rarely, it was revealed to be Teller during the series. Just one of those little details we never paid much attention to.
Cheeseburger! I get a cheeseburger!
Fine, cheeseburger.
Raise your hand if you've sung Soft Kitty at least once in your life. Well, here's the origin story you probably didn't know. The lullaby actually comes from an Australian children's song that co-creator Bill Prady grew up hearing. Who knew?
Pretty little ball of fur.
Closer to the microphone.
Howard's over-the-top wardrobe was truly one of a kind, and that includes his belt buckles. Each one he wore was custom designed specifically for his character. Just another way the show paid attention to the smallest details.
And we can have little sword fights whenever we want.
Mayim Bialik, who played Amy, wasn't just acting when she delivered those scientific monologues. She actually has a PhD in neuroscience and often contributed to making her characters' lines scientifically accurate. Talk about method acting.
May I offer you something to drink?
You know I don't drink.
Not even strawberry quick?
You know how Sheldon has his spot on the couch? Well, this was inspired by a writer on the show who had a favorite chair at home and refused to sit anywhere else. Art definitely imitates life.
Howard, what are you doing?
He wasn't using it.
Ever wonder why the elevator stayed broken for so many years? It turns out the broken elevator was a metaphor for the gang's personal growth. It wasn't fixed until the final season to symbolize how far they'd come. Deep, right?
Every Saturday at 8:15.
Penny's job at the Cheesecake Factory might have been fictional, but it turned the real chain into a fan-favorite hangout spot. Fans actually visit the restaurant to feel connected to the series.
The Hindu gods against the entire Union Army?
And orcs.
I'll be back.
We never saw her, but Howard's mom, Mrs. Wolowitz, was unforgettable thanks to her legendary voice, brought to life by the late Carol Ann Susie. Her comedic timing was truly unmatched.
That's right. Go back to Babylon, you hoa.
Excelsior! Marvel fans will love this one. Stan Lee's cameo was an absolute thrill for the entire cast. And with the gang's love for comics, it was a perfect fit.
Sheldon here is a huge fan of yours, and he was supposed to meet you the other day at the comic book store, but he kind of ended up in jail.
If you've been rewatching the series, here's a fun tidbit to look out for. Johnny Galecki, who played Leonard, wore glasses without lenses to avoid reflections during filming. Pretty ingenious, right?
Well, bye.
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 The equations on Sheldon and Leonard's whiteboards, they weren't just props. They often contained Easter eggs that fans would analyze for hidden meanings. Some even recreated them at home.
And I could not have done it without you.
Oh, please, I just offered a little encouragement.
The Big Bang Theory didn't just entertain, it inspired. Many fans credit the show for pursuing STEM careers, making it a cultural phenomenon beyond the screen. And finally, the classic Bazinga. You won't believe this, it was inspired by a practical joke the writers used to play in the writer's room. It was their way of saying, gotcha.
Bazinga! Bazinga!
Now that you know all these cool facts, which one surprised you the most? Drop a comment below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more behind-the-scenes trivia from your favorite shows. Until next time,
Bazinga! I have an override switch.